Greetings, this is the Evening Run. A pleasure always. Your host, Denobi2.
Oh, hello folks, Denobi2 here. Thank you for joining me once again on an evening run. How is everybody today? We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about toys, action figures, and all sorts of wonderful things that happens within our 1/6 scale community. And to make this happen and to pull off this wonderful little miracle, good buddy, good friend, King Zach is going to be joining us for this little one-on-one figure talk panel. Zach, how are you? You're live.
Good. Hey, how much did that intro cost you with those girls?
Well, I mean, it is Vegas.
That was pretty nice.
You like that? You know, the twins has all the twins.
Yeah. Can you play it again or no?
I can. Yeah, I don't. Why? I mean, I don't want to.
We don't have to.
I don't want to. Well, I mean, if there's like a super chat, the twins will come out and say thank you. But
yeah, that's a first for me. The customized intros like that. I haven't seen that yet.
Yes. Well, it's interesting. I mean, this is welcome to America. I mean, a few dollars here, spread some smoles, and you can get a lot of things done. So, dude, you phase in and out of reality, so it's always a pleasure when you rise from the dead, and I get to hang out with you because it's a hoot. It's always fun. It's like, oh, it's Zach.
I know you're like the only guy I kind of watch still in the toy stuff. That's pretty nice.
I try.
Yeah, I've known you for a few years, and I'm still a huge fan. Honestly, it's I'm quite blown away at the opportunity to talk to you.
Awesome. And as requested, I rerouted the internet signal through 3 different countries, so you won't be tracked or anything. In fact,
yeah.
There you go. So
good.
You wanna stay incognito?
Hey, yeah, because they're after us. They're coming after me. The Matrix is gonna get me.
So my first question to you: are you still collecting toys? Are you still collecting hot toys?
Yo, I'm telling you right now. I've gotten real into World War II stuff.
Oh, all right.
I don't know if you dabble in World War II stuff.
Very seldom. I do have a few pieces. My kid's grandfather served in the war, and I got to inherit some of his pieces once he passed away. So I love the whole history. I like everything within the Manhattan Project. I love the Hydra Stomper, that World War II era Hot Toys Hydra Stomper that I feel a lot of collectors slept on. I love that. Did you get that? Do you know what I'm talking about? The Hydra.
That was before. Hold on, that was before my time.
No, Hydra Stomper was just a couple years ago.
Hydra Stomper.
Hydra Stomper from the What If.
Oh! You're talking about the big robot thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cartoon World War II.
Well, it's still. I mean, I also like Disney World War II. I love their propaganda. Donald battling the axis of evil and all that good stuff, and so I enjoy the pop culture aspect of World War II, and then I do enjoy the real history of World War II. But as far as hot toys, no.
I don't think they dabble in. They don't dabble in the World War II figs. That's DID Corp.
Yes, DID. Yeah, they seem to be leaning more towards the not so much the Allies, but the.
I'm not saying anything. That's actually 3R, but I'm pretty sure they. I'm pretty sure it's the same.
The video gets turned. Yeah. You have to say things like Yahtzee. Like the board game Yahtzee.
Yeah, they have been pushing out a lot of Germany figures from the Wehrmacht, as they say. I kind of got into that about a year and a half ago. I got real deep into the World War II stuff. That's just it's a rabbit hole. And I haven't gotten a hot toy figure in quite some time. I honestly don't even remember the last one I got.
Wow.
But hold on. I'm trying to. Damn, what was it like? I think Commander Cody was the last one I got.
Okay.
that I'm aware of.
You're still in the East Coast, right? Of the United States?
Central.
You're in Central Time now. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But no, mainly it's just been buying up DID figures. They make some really good stuff.
They teased a UFO vehicle at one toy show about a year or so ago. The Yahtzee Bell saucer, and they had it like on a magnetic base. I found that really interesting. I thought that was kind of cool. It was a prototype. They teased it, and look, to me, in my collection, in my museum, it's more of a. I like to bring hope. My collection is very I try to be very I do have Marvel villains, but when it comes to those characters, no, especially since there's family ties with it. Look, I would feel more comfortable with showcasing TB Lee figures than those specific characters.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess
there's nothing wrong. I mean, if that's what tickles your fancy, I'm not judging. People judge me all the time for the stuff I collect. It's just if that's your cup of tea, that's cool. I can't judge.
I mean, that logic honestly is kind of hard to argue because really large breasted figures, or what they're trying to portray, they've never harmed anyone, not that I'm aware of. Unlike the other group we're talking about, they did some very bad things.
Yeah, that's.
So I kind of at first I was like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they go hand in hand, but they actually don't. I mean, their logic kind of makes sense. It's a taboo thing to collect. Just like I did a review on a Donald Trump figure from DID they sent to me, and that was at the time that was a heated. I mean, that was a heated review there.
Yes, I bought that version for a couple skits because I just thought it was funny at the time to have a DID Trump figure, and I did. I think I used them, and then I got bored with them, and then I sold them. I don't think I lost money on that actually. I think
the value of it went up.
Yeah.
I think it was only like $120, but I got scammed on a Joe Biden head sculpt probably about a year ago. Got on eBay and they never sent it to me. I was kind of upset about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, makes sense though. They I think it just came out or something. I forgot what company it was, but they released just a head sculpt. Like I don't know if DID is doing a President Biden figure or not. Probably not.
No, probably. I don't think. I know they did. Did they do Obama?
They did Obama. Yeah. Yeah, I think they did. I think they did two versions of Obama.
Huh. It's hard. Look, it's when it comes to eBay. Did you pre-order through eBay?
No. They said it was in stock, and
they said it was in stock, and then they never sent it, or they send you a dummy product?
No, they didn't send anything. And then I messaged them, and it's one of those things. It's like $36, and after like 3 months, it kind of forgot about it. So it'd be one thing if it was like a $200-300 figure, but it was just a little head sculpt. So I wrote it off as a loss, unfortunately, and. That's what you get whenever that's the risk you take whenever you're ordering stupid stuff like that from God only knows where.
Well, that's the situation right now with the toy community right now is where to buy, what are the trusted retailers out there. There's we are in an era of constructive criticism influencers within the community. And it's hard to navigate the treacherous waters when everybody's pointing you to the retailer of their choice, and you end up with not so pleasant experiences. And for the most part, eBay is probably about 90% of the time pretty decent. But for the stuff that we buy and the expensive stuff that we buy, it can be very, very challenging. It's no secret. No, go ahead.
eBay. The thing about eBay is you have three different layers of protection there. You're gonna, anyone who's selling on eBay obviously is probably gonna, raise the price a little bit to adjust for the fees. But eBay, you're gonna have eBay is gonna be protecting. You're essentially gonna have whoever's shipping it, and then you're gonna have PayPal. So that's three layers of protection. Whereas if you're buying it direct from someone's website, you're gonna get PayPal, and that's 90 days. So it's a little bit better, I think, if you're buying it via eBay than like a private website. But it's still, they're coming up with new scams every day where they'll just send you a box, and it might have happened to you before, but
I've never gotten a rock in a box.
Oh, really? Yeah, you're lucky. Yeah, they'll send you a box, and then it's enough to get through all like the initial red tape, and then by the time you get everything sorted out, it's like 3 or 4 months. And those people, they do it like they'll do it 20 times in one day, and then take that money and just run with it, and never be seen again. And they don't have to end up paying it back. They're overseas.
Have you ever gotten the rock in the box? Have you multiple times have gotten screwed like that?
Yeah, but not from ordering a hot toy. I got it from ordering this really large Jenga set.
So you're but you're kind of like me though. You're a veteran, educated collector when it comes to navigating the online waters. And so if you're ever going to buy hot toys through like an eBay seller, you would definitely look at the feedback profile, right?
Oh no, absolutely. But I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't go through eBay. There's no reason to. And I know I've heard there's some controversy brewing. I don't know what the it's so difficult to tell because it's changed recently. I say like in the last 3 years how everything was done, and then now it seems like it's changing again. I mean, you've been collecting since like what 2013 or something.
The last time I remember speaking with you, Zach, was how you stopped pre-ordering. When something gets released, you end up essentially chasing it. If you like something, you end up buying it, and it's worked out for you. Now,
absolutely.
You're not like the regular collector, and so it's kind of hard to kind of place you, say, with like a year one collector, let's say, that started collecting in the year 2020, because there's been an infusion of new collectors that started collecting in the year 2020. Moving forward, things have been very different. Things have been very challenging. We've had this spur of YouTube influencers within the community that essentially, because of what happened in 2020, most of us at the time were working at home or we're not even working at the time, found the path to communicate and connect within the community through YouTube, and it spurred really creative, colorful characters that most of them, I believe, are still online. Most of them. Some of the ones that I remember are gone, but for the most part, the ones that tend to bark the loudest are still
around.
We're still around. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about like everyone that's getting into it now's the best time to get into it. I mean, whenever you got in the game, whenever I got in the game, stock wasn't really a thing, and the value secondary market was just crazy. You wouldn't see figures go on sale. Now you can pretty much bank on whatever figure you want is going to be on sale at some point. And it's just been like that for like the last year and a half. So now is the best time to be doing it. But if you're new to the game, you got to stick with you got to stick with a verified retailer, because it's just the safest bet. It's going to cost a little bit more money, but that's the way to go. Then the longer you're in it, that's when you start trying to hit it on a macro level, trying to squeeze out 10%, $20, $30 each figure. But that's once you kind of built a little experience in buying the shit, because buying everything that's a biggest part of collecting in my opinion.
So for those of you folks that are joining in on the stream, I actually tried to get Zach due to scheduling conflicts. He works a lot, as do I, and I had wanted to get his opinion on this situation because there are several Hong Kong retailers out there or resellers that built a business and essentially reselling expensive action figures, hot toys, Blitzway, things like that. And because the landscape is ever radically changing, it's a different environment now. There's a lot of concern. There's a little bit of fear. A lot of collectors who started pre-ordering and say purchasing with a lot of these Hong Kong retailers, and the biggest one would be Toys Wonderland. It hasn't fared so well. Look, it's no big secret. This is a wacky year for retailers. We have authorized retailers, and when we have unauthorized retailers out there. But the biggest one overseas is probably the one that's still kind of barking the loudest, and it is Toys Wonderland.
Are they still currently taking in sales? Are they currently selling? Can you go buy something on their website right now?
As far as I understand, yes. I know after I did my live stream, they released a PR video on their YouTube channel. They hadn't posted.
Yeah, I did see that.
Did you see that? Did you?
It had less stock images than I would have suspected. So there was like a little bit of video looked like in their warehouse, but
that was their warehouse video. Did you not?
Yeah,
see
but the customer service workers and all that's all just stock images.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Well, I know the voice.
The typical
I know the voice
thing.
was AI. I know it was an AI generated voice.
Yeah.
So.
The interesting thing about that is, you know what like a bank run is when a bank is in maybe some trouble and it gets out and people start withdrawing all their money, bank collapses. And I think that operation over there could potentially see that people canceling stuff. So if I'm not mistaken, they took the cancellation page to where you can't cancel direct through them.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, which makes sense.
I've only ever purchased one item. I'd like to disclose that, and it wasn't very pleasant. I've only ever purchased one item, and I didn't like their deceptive practice of providing a tracking number, and then like 3 or 4 weeks later, it would start to get updated. I don't know if that practice is still happening there, but that was enough to spook me, to give me the impression that this is not a trusted establishment to purchase from.
Yeah, to be frank, there's no excuse for it. You can't make an excuse for it. And one big thing, this is the problem that I have with all of them. Stop acting like everyone's just fucking stupid. Stop like there was 3 rainbows that day and a unicorn came, and that's why we haven't been able to ship everyone's order. It's like, we're not dumb, stop talking to everyone like they're dumb. They know something obviously is going on, and you can't chalk it up to just, we grew too fast. That's not an excuse. You grew too fast. It means you're obviously making money. Hire more people. It's not that difficult. In my opinion, there had to have been some level of large amounts of money coming in, and look, it's strictly from my opinion. I don't know. There's large amounts of money coming in from pre-orders and stuff, and that given some sense of like, oh, we're doing well, and then that money gets spent, and like comes time to actually get the figures and send them to the people. Oh crap! Where's the money at? We need to pay. We need to pay for these figures so we can send them to people, and essentially somewhat of a Ponzi scheme where you say, okay, well, now I need to get more pre-order money in to pay, so I can pay off the remaining figures that I got to send to the other people, and so on and so forth. And it spirals out of control. And the lack of customer service is one thing, but to completely fall apart like that, where you're just not even shipping orders and making excuses, there's no excuse for it. You can't make it make sense. Someone did something wrong. Someone did something wrong, and as far as the operation is concerned.
But it wasn't something that was recent. This was like an ongoing issue.
Yeah, which makes sense. It tracks with failing establishments for the most part.
I never understood that. I never understood why but I guess, I mean, they probably have buyers who probably aren't aware of the social media, because they're probably just more, it's not something that is probably advertised very frequently on social media or even clubs or groups. I know several collectors personally that didn't even know that this world existed until they started collecting Hot Toys, and they
it's very small in terms of like
the
overall, especially once you hit. So there's a market of like hardcore collectors, like you'd say like you, me, everyone watching this who's in the know. Then there's an outer shell of people who kind of know the figures that are coming up. And then you have another shell outside of that, and that's the ones that don't really know anything. They just see cool toys and they have a lot of money, so they buy it. That layer and the layer under it probably are the ones that don't know about, hey, probably shouldn't buy from these people, but they go on YouTube and they hear this Australian fancy talking guy is saying, hey, go buy your stuff from these people like I am. And 50,000 people watch a video, even at 0.5%, if people, you have a 0.5% click-through rate, that's still a lot of people.
Yeah, I always found the whole situation very deceptive. But before we keep going on, Zach, let me address this little super chat here from Cobra's Collection. Thank you so much. Saludos, gentlemen. King Zach, met you and your ex-buddy at 2019 San Diego Comic-Con. Seeing JJ was a complete surprise. Hope to see you more on Denobi stream. And the twins, of course, will say thank you.
Excellent. Thank you kindly for the generous super chat. Denobi2 extends his praise for your support.
See, there you go, Zach. I figured you get a kick out of the twins.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of the stream.
That's it. So, I've always had an issue where you have a paid spokesman representing a distributor, and you don't know how honest the situation is. You don't know how genuine the reviews are, especially when said spokesperson is affiliated with a big retail, and I guess an unauthorized, because they're not even licensed. It isn't.
The way it kind of works is Disney does like regional licensing. So you have to have the license to sell, an Iron Man action figure in North America, so and so, and it's called every industry has what's called a gray market, and that's where that's the transaction between. For example, in this specific situation, you're not supposed to buy, an Iron Man action figure from, anywhere in Asia and sell it to someone in North America. I say you're not supposed to, but you can do it, but it's one of those things. It's frowned upon, so to speak. It's not illegal, but if, for example, if whoever made that action figure, if it gets out that that person is working with the person that's, selling that toy overseas, the manufacturer can get a lot of trouble, and they could lose the license, because you got to buy the license to be able to sell the action figure, and that's how it works in a lot of the industries. But that's what they're doing is essentially, it's not illegal, but it's frowned upon. It's hard to explain.
No, that's fine. Let me ask you. Let me pick your brain here. What do you think the lifespan is of said Toys Wonderland? What do you think they're on solid ground? It's my impression that they lost their spokesperson.
Yeah, well, that's a big. I mean, their spokesperson drove all of their traffic. There were no one until that person came around, and I personally helped facilitate that particular, I guess you can say, deal from the beginning. Philip actually had emailed me before even talking to Justin. I think I might have lost my earphones.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can I? Yeah, I can't. Oh, hold on.
Your headset needs charging. Testing. I'll keep talking. Is it the signal? Is it the I'll add some little intro animation here to get your headset back up and working. Yes, I actually do like this. Everyday collector. Take what YouTubers say with a grain of salt. Yeah, you know what? That would probably apply to me as well, too. Everybody has their 2 cents. Get a second opinion or ask around before making your purchase. Yeah, it's words to live by. Zach, switch to your... You've muted yourself. Try unmute. Did you mute yourself?
Yeah, my headphones died.
Okay.
Can you hear the feedback coming in from your end, or does it automatically cut it out?
Let's see. Yep, I can hear it.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let me go get another pair.
All right.
Man, I was in the middle of the thought process too.
And I'll answer, and I'm gonna address the chat here because I know you're on a schedule. Take your time. TW, you're killing me. TW cut Zach's. They're out there, man. TW cut Zach's headphones off. That's why you have to bounce the signal from different parts of the world. TW. Hey, are they still in business? I can't. You folks out there are brave as shit to give them money. I couldn't trust them as far as I can throw them. I just no way. Especially that little promo video of theirs that was like, it looked like it was AI generated with the voiceover, and they walked through their stock room and they were. Did anybody else notice that with that little promo video, they walked by like 100 or like 80 or 100 jokers, the InArt jokers in there? Did anybody else notice that they were sitting on like a ton of stock on that? Because I actually noticed that. Kaiju, I'm gonna have to reroute it over to through Tokyo on your side of the world there to get you going. Right when we're about to get to the good shit too, aren't we? Here we go. All their employees were from Shutterstock. That's pretty good. I need bought from T-Dubs. I don't know why people are still yeah, I was trying to reroute it. Oh yeah. Howard Chan loves him and the big boy here in the US, the big distributor. They all when Zach comes on, it sends off like red alerts through like different manufacturers, distributors. I can imagine Modu Case is listening. I figure representative from InArt is probably listening in, especially Modu Case right now. They're probably mad at me because you know what? Modu Case's improved time was a lie.
Bro, how long does it take to make one of those cases?
They're the biggest. They're the biggest. My God, I mean, their improved time was a lie. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. They bragged about their robots, and they even moved to like the expensive business district in Singapore. And for the life of them, they can't deliver Modu Case on time. I think they're still using the 2020 excuse. So
You gotta love it.
yeah, no. There's a lot of miscommunication, misdirection. Modu Case is probably the one. And I have one more order with them. So if Brian's listening, I'm sorry, Brian. I love you. Don't cancel my order, but you told me you were going to improve your times, and you haven't. So it's not just them. It's and if the toy companies can't get their time schedule up, then they disappear, like that British company, the British action figure company.
Big Chief Studios.
Big Chief Studios. I had for 2 years. I had Laurel and Hardy on pre-order, and
You got burned.
but it was through Alter Ego, and they never collected anything from me, so I'm good. I had Laurel and Hardy through Alter Ego, so I was good. Again, this is one of the reasons where when you're placing a pre-order, you want to make sure you want to minimize your risk,
Your exposure. Yeah.
your exposure, your whole risk, everything, because this has been a really controversial, shaky year. Toys Wonderland is, as far as I'm aware, is the biggest pre-order holder for the InArt product. They're the biggest ones. They're the ones that hold the biggest, as far as I'm aware. If somebody, correct me if I'm wrong, and they're the ones. So you have the biggest unauthorized distributor reseller in Hong Kong, just under controversy. They've lost their star representative for reasons I no clue.
Who's their store representative?
For Toys Wonderland.
I thought you were talking about InArt. Sorry.
Oh, InArt. No, InArt has the circus ringleader that goes by John, and he tells you anything that you want to hear, anything wonderful. He'll whisper anything. He'll tell you that the company's making a die-cast DeLorean, and he likes making the PR rounds with several of us in the community. Not me, though. His advances don't work on me, though, but they do work on several YouTube influencers who
It's enticing.
Who like to lay with him. And did you, especially since they're constantly under the gun, they have close to 16 pre-orders, 16 SKUs under the InArt banner, which I verified through Spec Fiction, and they
that's a lot for us.
It's a lot. I mean, talk about borrowing money from Paul to pay Peter, and they're they want to create this illusion where, because now it feels like an illusion where they're delivering these products on time, and they're clearly they are not. Where they send out this signal where the Pennywise figure is being delivered on time, or the Gandalf is being delivered on time, because the figures are being sent to selected influencers who are favored to that specific party. So you don't even know, and that's that whole situation. That whole situation there is just. I find it just very, very deceptive and very, very untrustworthy when you have selected influencers that are reviewing certain InArt figures, and then the rest of the world gets theirs like 6 to 8 months later.
They tranche them out. That's what they did with the Joker. They tranched out the release over the course of like 5 months, right?
It was more like 6 months. My buddy Hada Lorian didn't get his till like a few months ago. So it just seems like history is repeating itself. And when you have influencers who are reviewing these early pre-production, whatever it is, and aren't being very transparent and disclosing their situation, you really have to make yourself kind of pause and ask yourself, what's really going on there?
The issue with that, Denobi, is I don't think it'll ever get large enough to where it would hit any type of national recognition, because technically it's against FTC. It's against FTC regulations. You got to put a disclaimer anytime anyone even is whether it's they give you a discount on something, or they give it to you for free, and you it's sponsorship. You have to disclose that, and only in America though. And it's have you know the story behind Firefest, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
It's
the
coming
situation,
back,
like, yeah, they're making another one. So, goes to show you. People they can do it the rest of their lives. They scam their way through anything. The situation with this the I guess you say Toys Wonderland YouTube sponsorship stuff is very similar in that nature. Where, like for example, Kylie Jenner got blamed a lot for the people that went to Firefest and had to sleep on the sand for 2 days and wasn't being fed and stuff. So it goes to who do you blame? Does the influencer have any blame? Do they take any blame? Should they? I mean, what do you think on that?
I think they should.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, they should.
I always said they should. Everything always, it's karma. It always comes back, because then that level of trust and confidence is now broken. And I'm like, oh, who's reviewing the next early release InArts? Oh, it's this individual. Oh, well, it's clearly going to be a positive, well-liked video. It gets control. It's not where it's a constructive criticism video. You can point out the good parts of the product, but then you should also still point out the negative parts. And that was one of the reasons I never really had any ill will towards the channel Justin's Collection. I just chose not to watch Justin's Collection channel because I felt it never provided
it's a commercial
benefit. It was a commercial. It never provided a benefit for me to have an educated decision when purchasing an expensive toy. So that's why I've always preferred to watch smaller channels reviewing figures, because you know what, they've worked really hard for this figure. They probably only have an allowance to buy one Hot Toys a month, and they really appreciate it. And most of them will be very vocal about it, versus the ones that are trying to get into bed with said manufacturer so that they can get in a pre-early production figure, and then like you said, it gets trunched out, meaning it gets dragged out for months, and then by the time everybody gets that one figure, then they're kind of showcasing the other ones, because look, they're falling behind. I've always said I've never had any quality QC issues when it comes to InArts. I think their figures look fine. My biggest concern is, and my prediction for their downfall will be distribution. They don't have a solid distribution platform for their expensive products, and it's something that will definitely it can. I mean, just look, if you look at Toys Wonderland and they're closed. I mean, a run in the bank. Essentially, the bank tellers are closing their windows to prevent a run on the bank. That's your metaphor is what the representation is with Toys Wonderland. Oh, let's close off the cancellation window. Let's turn it off, because if people start pulling out too much of their deposits, we run the risk, because our margins are really tight and we can lose. And if that happens, what would the rest of the collectors or the customers around the world? All they're going to do is
they're out.
Facebook, you're out. You go on Facebook,
you're out of the money,
buy and you bitch about it, and they disappear. Then they're gone. Yeah, and you have really no one to blame but yourself, maybe.
Yeah, you can point the finger, but hey, when it comes down to it, to be fair, you're responsible for how you spend your own money. Now, someone can come in and throw on some snake oil and sell you, but when it comes down to it, ultimately it's your responsibility. But that's where it becomes, not really the best metaphor, but someone, do you blame the person taking the drugs, or does the drug dealer get complete what's the word I'm looking for? Do they get they get off scot-free? Because in my opinion, drug dealers just as responsible as the person that's taking the drugs.
It is. And let
Not
me,
saying that, not saying there's a comparison there, but I'm saying it's the
Yeah.
concept's kind of the same, you know. Because some people are more trusting than others. You know, people take advantage of that, and where the issue lies is when you get deceptive about it. When you say, you know, oh, I have no affiliation with these people. Whenever, I mean, that's literally written everywhere. That's where it becomes deception, and that's where it's wrong.
Yeah. Let me address this. I don't know if you want to. This one comment really. So, the difference between sideshows videos when they do their day one unboxings is that I know that it is a commercial. The difference is that the channel Justin's Collection has never really portrayed that. It's always an individual for the people, a regular collector of sorts, and a lot of that stuff is omitted. And even the reviews could be somewhat edited to benefit the reseller. So if you're affiliated with a distributor that sells products, and you've gotten a product that's probably shit, your job is to be the best spin master you possibly can, versus somebody that doesn't have much to lose, say maybe a smaller channel. I don't have memberships. I think I'm only affiliated with one retailer, and that's Spec Fiction, and they only sell statues there. But I've always been
That's good people over there.
yeah, I've always been trying to be very transparent. So you really want to disclose that. How did you get did you pay for this? Was it a comped product? Why did you get early access to it? The things like that really should be disclosed, especially in the beginning of the video. It really goes a long way. It really does.
One thing that I've always, from the beginning, I've always kind of looked at, you know, as outweighing, why not just be transparent? Is it going to really affect your audience that much if you just come out and say, I am trying to sell you this product? I mean, is it going to, are people going to stop watching you? I don't think that's the case. And I think it's like almost like an insecurity of, like, you know, people being worried, like, oh, you know, honestly, it comes down to some of these people not being able to take any level of criticism whatsoever. So whenever they go on YouTube and they say, people, oh, you're just saying you like it because you're trying to sell it to me, they take that to heart. They can't take criticism, so they make up shit, they lie, so that they can avoid that and say, no, I'm not trying to sell it to you. I'm giving you my honest opinion. And it's, you know, it all comes down to, I think, a lot of them just they can't take criticism.
Why do you? I want to bounce back over to Toys Wonderland. Why do you think Toys Wonderland is facing its end of days now? What do you think has changed? Do you think the economy has changed? Do you think the collector's taste has changed? Because there's kind of blood in the water there. They're not looking so healthy. What do you think has changed? What do you think? And it's jumping off of a sinking ship here.
I don't think I know for a fact. I mean, they didn't set out to scam people. You know, they didn't set out to. Really, not many people do. That's what it becomes, because they try and save themselves. I don't know if it was, you know, I honestly, I don't think it was like, you know, necessarily they were, you know, running low on sales. I think just fucking piss poor management. Also mixed in with you know, when you start doing well, it tends to go to your head, and you start doing stupid things, blowing money, or you know, not paying attention, not being focused on your work, and I think it's a combination of all that. But
you don't think the quick pivot from the biggest distributor of Hot Toys in the U.S. and their alliance with Hot Toys as to throttle releases, so that they can have these random day one event releases, not all of them, but majority enough, because let's face it, it was enough to really changed the collectors' buying habits versus
Oh,
majority of the. Yeah,
probably, yeah, definitely. I
that
mean,
would be my ongoing
that's
theory
what I would do.
Yeah,
And you're entitled to that right to essentially to do stuff like that because you're doing it right. That's good business.
it's fair. It's fair competitive business. It's
yeah, no, absolutely, especially
like,
considering that the people, anyone that's competing against you shouldn't even be competing against you because what they're doing is they're operating under a loophole.
Yeah.
And you can't really do anything about it. So no, absolutely, stuff like that. Anything that, like I said, you can't. It's not illegal, so you can't really file any type of cease and desist or anything, to my knowledge. So you got to get creative. But it's going to be interesting to see how just the overseas market in general is gonna fare. Now that guys like Justin aren't getting, because Justin's biggest thing was getting, he faced a dilemma where from the very beginning, I grow my channel by getting the figures first. How do I do that? Well, you have to set up a relationship with someone overseas. They did that with Philip. Then the question became, well, and I remember personally telling him is that at some point you got to think long term. You will run out of money. You can't buy every single figure that comes out. So eventually, one of two things will happen: you'll burn out, or you'll run out of money. I mean, that's what happens. So that was the other obstacle you got to navigate. How do we do this and make sure that you don't get burned out, or you don't run out of money. So we got to come up with a deal. We got to set up a deal. We'll promote the channel. We'll promote you as the seller, and then we'll in exchange you send the figure to us ASAP. That way we can get it out first. Because the difference between being the first person to review a figure versus being the second one is I mean, at the time was you're talking 40, 50,000 views. And that was the number one goal, was trying to get the figure early. And
yes.
That's always been a thing.
Yes. Did you notice how quickly that fell out of vogue this year? Having that first, and there's still some that still believe by that philosophy. And Zach, I've made a big effort to, you're not gonna, it's a bad way to manage your collection. It's a mismanagement of your collection. You don't grow your collection like that by spending premium on a day one release. It gets not even the views aren't even there anymore. They used to be, but not anymore.
No, I went and look over the past couple of weeks because my name got mentioned by a farmer friend of mine. And dude, I was surprised. 10,000 views, 20,000 views. That's weak. I don't see how that's worth it. And I'm surprised he hasn't moved on to TikTok, because that's the audience there. You can expand to a much wider audience. But I was quite surprised that it's for the occasional outlier like a Spider-Man, but. From the very beginning, I always thought that you're capped at about 1 million followers, because that's kind of what the market is. If you're reviewing toys, it's going to be difficult for you to pass over 1 million followers.
That's going to be, yeah. So there's only finite, and it's a niche. It's a niche world. It's a very niche collector's world of collecting these products. It's either this or what, action figures, Marvel Legends, Black Series.
Yeah.
What advice? I mean, this is, and but like I said, this is really, I mean, folks that are just listening in, because it's been a really crowded market. Hot Toys has been averaging between 120 and 130 pre-orders. And they've been able to deliver these figures on time. And this is something that I was preaching back. This is something you and I were preaching back a couple of years ago. painting yourself into a corner where these invoices start to come in, and you realize that you may not have the $1,000 or $2,000 to pay them because Sideshow and Hot Toys decided to just ship everything in 1 week, which leads to what I've coined tapping out, where collectors are then forced to essentially throw away their non-refundable deposit because, look, no retailer, authorized or unauthorized, they're not generous with their deposits. They expect 100% full commitment from you. And that's been one of my gripes with several manufacturers, actually. And
it's one thing on, it's somewhat acceptable on a $200-$300 action figure, but it's like, guys, I'm trying. I think it was like Super 7 had these Mars Attack figures. You pre-order, it's going to come out in a year and a half. It's $60. It's like, come on, make the toy, put it on your website, and sell it. Stop. Yeah, I personally don't think it's like. I'd prefer you not to have everyone finance you building an action figure. And that's kind of, I guess you could say, essentially what it is. It's to try and estimate. That way you don't overproduce, obviously, but it's to get money coming in. And it's like, if you're doing a $60 action figure, come on, just make them and put them on the website. But that's mainly me talking out of just lack of patience. But they're going to be, I don't know. In my opinion, I believe in the next probably month or two, there's going to be a lot of people upset. They could be out of money. Unless you were able to go to PayPal or your personal bank and report your charges as either you didn't receive the item or not. That way, because the way it works is if you go to PayPal a lot of times will side with you, and then they'll reach out to the vendor, and the vendor will have to pay them. And I think you probably starting to see a lot of that too.
Did you have you been keeping up with some of the releases that have happened? With
yeah.
You still follow all that, right?
Yeah, I still follow. I mean, it's all over my feed.
Did you see Peacemaker dropped today?
Yeah, I think it looks great, except for the ones where his mouth's open.
What's wrong with having his mouth open?
It just doesn't. I think it just doesn't look like him. I don't think.
Okay, that's it though. But it does come with two heads though, doesn't it? It's.
It looked like it was a swap out piece too, because you have two different open mouths.
Yeah. Swap out. Yeah, I think it looks great. Are you getting him at all by any chance?
No, I didn't see that movie.
You didn't see Suicide Squad?
Not that one. I love the OG Suicide Squad. I saw this one, and it was too crazy. I don't like sharks either, so that was kind of like a. People have things with clown. I don't like sharks. So a big shark like that, I was like, no, dude.
King Shark, you didn't get a kick out of him at all?
No. I don't know what it's called, but I got like some type of agoraphobia, whatever, with sharks. Like, people are afraid of like spiders and shit. I'm like that with sharks. Like looking at a shark, I'm like, it's what is it called? It's some. Let me Google it.
You're talking about a great white shark, right? The one that's being portrayed by King Shark, the character from DC.
Yeah, that's why I refuse to watch. Okay, it's called galephobia. It's an irrational fear of sharks.
All right.
Yeah, so I can't even. In fact, out on Instagram, everyone posting photos of that shark hot toy, I had to block because I don't want to see any of that.
That's it. Wow.
But yeah, that's why I didn't watch the movie.
You live on the coast too, don't you?
In the swamp.
Oh, okay. Oh, you
kind of a coast.
You got the good old gators out there.
Yeah. But this figure looks great. It's just I don't know what the deal is. I guess making an open mouth is hard to do. The only time I've ever seen them do open mouth good is like on Harley Quinn. They from the original Suicide Squad. But overall, that figure looks. I mean, it looks great. It looks just like John Cena.
Yeah, I think so too. Are you dabbling with any of the Hot Toy Star Wars at all? C-3PO or Doc
I
Ock?
saw the C-3PO. I think C-3PO looks great. Like I said, I stopped watching a lot of the newer shows. Like I haven't watched Ahsoka and all of that. I think they've gotten too far away from what I liked it for, I guess you can say. But I saw the Doc Ock release too. That looked like that was a pretty good one.
I think they all look great. Did you follow about any of the controversies regarding these releases at all? People about the Attack of the Clones C-3PO, how folks who I guess at one point pre-ordered it decided to cancel or move it towards a Return of the Jedi C-3PO, the Doc Ock head sculpt. It seemed like collectors were losing their shit, and or my favorite one, RoboCop, comes in a different shade of blue, so it's the end of the world, so it's worth canceling. Did you even follow any of this?
I saw the comments on the blue. I can kind of understand some people, like you said earlier, some people are very selective. If you can only buy one or two figures a year, and something like that might throw someone off. So I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to criticize someone that is picky like that. But then also it's like, you got to have some give and take there. I'd be more worried about the ridiculous jetpack on the guy's back.
For RoboCop?
Yeah. I'm not a fan of RoboCop. I actually have a weird dislike for RoboCop.
I have the 2.0 that came out 10 years ago, and I'm on the fence whether or not I want this one with a jetpack and the swappable arm. I only bring up the most recent issues with the critiqueness. It just seems like a lot more collectors are splitting hairs. And look, I get it. It's a financial pitfall to where you have multiple invoices coming in and you just can't swing. Look, this is one of the things I said early in the stream about you, is like, I am trying to follow your teaching with pre-orders. I am trying to wean myself off of pre-orders because I don't like being painted into a corner where multiple invoices come in. I like to have the freedom where if I see something shiny,
you have control over it.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Denobi. Why do you pre-order? What do you get from it? Why do you like? I mean, like, what feeling do you get? Is it the security?
It's my philosophy of that Denobi 2 does not like to be punished by history, where you then live the days of regret, and then if you didn't make the executive decision to pounce on that figure at that specific point in time, you then run the risk of chasing it on the secondary market, or worse, be forced to buy it from an deceptive, unauthorized retailer like Toys Wonderland, or even worse than that, eBay.
I mean, how many times have you wanted a figure and didn't pre-order it and weren't able to get it?
This is probably This is probably the last 3 to 4 months where I'm now running the risk of potentially missing out on figures. But you're right.
Which ones? Which ones? Because from what I've been seeing, it, like I said, things have changed like a lot recently, and how everything's shipped out. It might be coming in phases. They might be tranching it out.
I'll confess to you. This is between you and me. No one's hearing. I have a fetish for Star Wars droids. I love my Star Wars droids, and at one point, I think in June or July, I wanted to build a Geonosian battle droid army, like a real army, and the battle droids sold out in most of my trusted venues, and I mean, that was probably the first time in the over a decade that I've been collecting. I'm like, holy shit, this is some. And I have a rule. I go, I can't manage the collection you see behind me if I'm chasing figures on the secondary market. It is such a big no-no. I've done it, I dabble in it, but it's not something that I would recommend to any collector chasing figures. And it does it kind of irk me a little bit that there are selected influencers out there that love to give advice on exclusives and on exclusive figures, and
They don't know
promote
shit.
exactly. They don't. I was trying to be nice, but that's exactly what they don't
Yeah,
know
no,
shit.
no.
They essentially started collecting over a year ago, and they're giving
Yeah.
out advice on a collect, but yet not realizing that they spent a mint to get an exclusive figure that is hard to reach from everybody else. And so what I try to do, Zach, is that, like, if I can't get this figure at retail, because I have a spreadsheet, if I can't get this figure at retail, I have to unfortunately move on, because I have to anticipate anomalies down the road that I may find I may find as an attractive buy. HasLabs, Kickstarters, crowdfundings, things like that.
Yeah. You got to have.
Yeah.
You got to be able to capitalize on that opportunity if it shows up. I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's one of those. So to pre-order, but then again, because of the droids and certain characters, we have now entered the era of small batches. And it's not just small batches in the biggest authorized distributor in the US. It's also the authorized resellers here in the US, Alter Ego, Big Bad Toys, or others that aren't essentially, screw you flaky collectors out there. We had faith in you and you ended up canceling on us. So F you. We're going to, instead of ordering, I don't know, 50 figures, we're going to order 10 now. And that is the way.
That's the market working.
That is exactly. And as much as I get annoyed by it, I welcome it, because it's also the market it puts the market in a state of healing. That's how we're going to get the good old days of Hot Toys, that price resurgence again.
Yeah.
And so it's just, and as much as it bothers me that Hot Toys is doing these limited batches, like the Artisan Anakin, the Artisan Joker, I love it because it's good old fashioned capitalism.
It gets you back to what got them there in the beginning, and that it was, man, back in the day, you couldn't just go on a website and you had a Hot Toy in stock. Mm-hmm. You either pre-ordered it or you weren't getting it.
Exactly. And, that's how it was.
That's how it was, and that's what built that I need it. Those are the good old days. And
I just wish those were the good old days. So I just wish that, I get it. We're all being overwhelmed. I just, instead of nitpicking some of these Hot Toy releases and things like that, I just wish collectors were a little bit more genuine, a little bit, just a tad bit more honest, where we knew the head sculpt with Doc Ock wasn't going to be the best at the prototype, and that's exactly what they delivered. And so to kind of like, well, I had him on pre-order, so I'm gonna cancel it. Or I had Attack of the Clone C-3PO. He looks fine, but I'm gonna go Return of the Jedi. And to me, that type of advice is very hurtful for the community, because you're essentially telling your audience you're throwing money away. Instead of made that smart, educated decision in the very beginning. Like, look, you got to look at the schedule. You got to look at the track chart, the star charts, and so forth. That way, you're not putting yourself in a financial situation where I have to now cancel because so forth. A good example is the Dewback, the Dewback Deluxe set that just came out. You saw that, Zach, right?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful.
They're getting crazy. Howard's getting crazy over there recently.
He's I'm telling you,
he's a madman. I'm telling you,
he is punishing those who doubted his faith. He's definitely going after the InArt faction cults. They came out with that new line like you were talking about earlier.
It's and like, I want to circle back real quick to the pre-order thing. I advise, the day one pre-order, I think that's more of like a personal thing people like to do. I guess you see like a what was it called, like a tradition maybe. But pre-ordering kind of when you can anticipate the figure might be coming out soon is probably smart. I don't do like the payment plan, so it kind of just serves. It never really served any purpose. But like if you pre-order it early, do the payment plans, you don't really have to worry about any of what you're talking about, because everything's paid off. But so you had the due back I saw, and then
so the due back, I'm using the due back as an analogy because folks are asking me about, are you going to pre-order it? And the thing is that I don't see things two-dimensionally. I tend to see them third and fourth. I try to imagine myself where I'm going to be a year from this point, because Hot Toys has exhibited, they've proven themselves, like, look, moving forward as of last year, when we tell you 13 months or 14 months, these figures, they've been delivering, right? They've been right on schedule. So when you look at something like the due back at $700 plus shipping and tax, you're looking at close to $800. And it falls within the conjunction vector of the Artisan Joker, the Artisan Anakin, and a few other big ticket items. It just seems that we all tend to get caught up in the hype and the excitement, not realizing, do you know what's going to happen at that point in time in the year? And that's a scary point in time. And that's how I think. And that's one of the reasons I'm trying to wean myself from pre-ordering, but at the same time, not cut it out, not so much, because I do have favorites. There are certain Iron Man characters that I do love, and there are certain things from, let's say, DC, or from Star Wars, or the unexpected surprises, say, from a Kickstarter, a HasLab, because I don't want to be punished by history by missing out on backing the Ghost, this giant ass phenomenal place set ship that is gonna spur my imagination, Zach. I'm gonna
Jabba's Gorge.
Exactly.
Yeah, I missed out on that one.
Yeah, and then you're on the secondary market, at the mercy of individuals like me, because I'm gonna charge you double and triple, right?
Yeah, as you should. As you should.
America.
Hey, last time I checked, we live in a country called America. We invented business. All right, this is just how we do it. It's to be expected. But I think the due-back kind of, the price range falls in. You're looking in between like a really deluxe set and then like a vehicle.
I do want to help out just the folks that are listening. I really do. I do love democracy. I just look. I get it. If I can't swing something, I will always be. And it's just really hard to listen to folks within this space, and they're shelling out $1,000 to buy one of the 300 batch, I don't know, the Wonder Woman or the D100 Iron Suit or some other exclusive, and then they go behind that, and then they're now giving out advice to an already I think fragile community. Just
very fragile, very fragile. It's always been
but
fragile. It's fragile, and the leaders are shit.
It sure is.
I'm being just frank,
yeah. So at least you've seen the tap dancing that's been going on, though. Like, I don't like. So at least you are aware of it, because you.
Oh yeah.
You see the tap dancing. My God, there's been some serious tap dancing going on out there.
Yeah.
I will say I had fun making that meme.
That was good. That was a nice little. Your production value since last time I was on,
I,
is top notch. Some of the best that I've seen. What Gandalf was that? Was that Asmus Gandalf?
that was the one that's the early production one that was sent on Imperial Droids to specific individuals to hype it up, to let the folks know, not to ensure the trust of the people that InArts will survive 2023.
Look, I know you've expressed concern on InArt. I so far what they've shown, they're capable of producing some good shit. It's Queen Studios. They're capable of producing really good shit. I think the way that they kind
Are
of
you lobbying them together? Because I have always seen them as two separate entities, meaning that if the InArts ship suffers malfunction, it's designed to eject and explode, while the video ship is
to a certain extent. But it doesn't look like they haven't. I don't believe that they haven't really done that good of a job of distancing themselves. For example, going back to like 3R and DID, there's like a kind of a big distinction there. Obviously for PR purposes, but I more financially. I mean, I think Queen Studios has always done really, really well. They make some really good stuff, and it's. I don't know. I think I get what you're saying. I think that they're just the way they're operating and tranching out these releases. It could be a signal, could be a sign. I think it's
they're not
just
showing any weakness, are they? Hot Toys is they're making it very clear that
they picked up some really good license and they're dropping some really good shit. Like I said, they're the best. I believe they're the best competitor so far to show up on Hot Toys' radar by far. Do I still? Yeah, Samuel. Maria Hill is the best hedge against a deflating secondary toy market, inflation, and it's outperformed the S&P 500 over the past 3 years. Maria Hill, you gotta have one.
Samuel, apologies. I did see your super chat, but I did forget. But I saw another one and it did remind me. So thank you so much. Cinnamon says thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for the super chat. Denobi extends his gratitude for your support. Trust knowing your contribution helps. Bye-bye.
Someone go get my toast.
Here we go. Another one here. Thank you, Bob Dylan. Has Zach seen Jazz Inc.'s products? Any thoughts? Do you have any 2 cents for this?
He's done really, really well. The shit he's made is pretty great. He got some of the license. I don't know how he does it. It doesn't make sense. I know he's went up on his prices recently, if I'm not mistaken.
I was going to say he does it by charging $2,000 for.
Oh, okay. So his prices have increased significantly then.
Well, yeah, he's not a charity. He's not a charity, and so his prices are pretty out there, and then he does the actual shipping charge varies to which specific country he's being. So he's not cheap. I mean,
he was when he first started, though. In my opinion,
when he started, when he was doing like humanitarian work for the community, but
now, yeah. You know how that goes.
Yeah, it's delusions of
yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's like the only way to get ahead in this hobby is to do a bunch of shitty things to the people in the hobby. That's the only way getting ahead. Like all the ones that actually look out for the people that are in the community are the ones that get thrown out of, ones that get thrown to the side. I got scars up and down my back from being backstabbed in this hobby, Denobi. Not from you, luckily, because you're a good guy, but like Justin, for example, get out of here.
I mean, I've gotten my fair whips from him as well too. Let's not forget, right? Remember, I had that dedicated live stream in my honor.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
invited. You remember that? You know, Pepperidge Farms remembers. Right?
Yeah, he's just a
Yeah.
little. I mean, that kid doesn't. He can't take criticism.
I never got an apology for that either. Too.
He won't give you an apology. He's a
Yeah.
narcissist. They don't apologize.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you have a Jazz Inc. product in your collection at all?
No, they're too. They're too big, and I'm not shipping something like that large, like that overseas.
Yeah.
And I'm not waiting for that. You know, I'm not going to wait.
It's probably for the best. The humidity where you're at would probably disintegrate it. So you're.
Yeah, I can't speak on the quality. I know you can.
I absolutely can. Let me.
Yeah, I know you can. We can take some questions. I know you can speak on the quality.
Thank you, Bob.
Wow, thank you so much for the super chat. Denobi extends his gratitude for your support. Trust knowing your contribution helps. Bye-bye.
Another super chat here from our good friend, 6 Scale Mafia. Careful, you're going to make Denobi's head explode. He's referring to in regards to my love towards Jazz Inc. Products.
Do you still beef with them?
I don't. I absolutely do not. After that whole situation happened, where he did take care of me. He bought my Justice Mobile, and then I took the funds, and then I ended up buying the Ghostbusters Ecto-1 After Life, which is the one you actually see behind me.
I can see it, man. You got. I mean,
so
what you got behind you is just. You need help, Denobi. You got a sickness.
I do. Did
you need help? You need to talk to somebody.
Well, I spent the last couple. Did you see what I did with my quarter scale Mark IV here? I USB plugged them, you know, with a little.
Who's that from? Is that from Fusion Reactors? Go hit up Hendra Wu. By the way, if you want USB lights, you gotta hit up Fusion Reactors. You made them?
Yeah, I know how to work a soldering iron.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Not that hard. It's just, you know, a little bit of YouTube tutorial videos, and but no, once you realize the volts and the whole diagram situation, it works. Let me pull up a thank you video.
How's that Afterlife Ecto-1? You like it? You don't have the original one, do you, or do you?
Of course I do. I have two.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah.
I mean, look here.
Which one you prefer?
Look, there's 2 Ecto-1s in this shot. It's like, where's Waldo?
Wait, where's the? Oh, wait, hold on.
Where's Waldo?
Wait, no. Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah, It's on both ends.
You see it? There you go. Yeah.
And it's crazy that shot right there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fully appreciate the scale of it. Like,
no,
you could not comprehend how big that, like, all that shit is. It's insane.
Yeah. Thank you, Mafia.
Oh my gosh.
What would it take to get you to come back to do Finn again?
In what?
I mean, I don't know if Finn is.
You ain't gonna Disney Plus me.
I love that. That's just I love the fact that you're not going to Disney Plus me. Herman Lopez, did you have a question or comment? Thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are way too kind.
Oh man, they paying you money for that? But you got a setup. No wonder why you can get all that shit behind you.
No, it's because I know how to manage a collection.
There you go, man. It gets to a point where it just becomes overwhelming, you know. And like, how many Thors can you have before it's like, you know?
Yeah. Thank you, Herman.
Excellent. Thank you kindly for the generous super chat. Denobi 2 extends his praise for your support.
Here's my favorite one here. El Professor, thank you so much. At 6 Scale Mafia, where is the 66 Batmobile 4K Blast review? So this is something that has been bugging me, Zach, is that there in YouTube land, there is no true 4K blast of the 66 Batmobile done by Jazz Inc. Most of the influencers who ended up getting the 66 Batmobile, they resorted to low resolution live streams with piss poor lighting. And then the ones that actually filmed it in 10K filmed it from a distance, and then peppered it with excuses of mom and pop. So I have yet to see a true 4K unboxing review of the 66 Batmobile. And mind you, this vehicle, talk about pricing. This thing, it's close to $1,800 retail through Jazz Inc. That's with shipping and any.
Yeah, come on, Joust, what you doing, dog? You used to hook us, man. That's like that's like wait, that's $1,100 core right there back in the day.
No,
Man,
no.
$1,800.
$1,800 average with it's 15, and then you pepper in the shipping and any other country taxes. So the average that I was able to verify, it's $1,800 for an okay, because I haven't seen a true well lit 4K blast video. In fact, 6 Scale Mafia even did like a flyby review on the Falcon cockpit. That camera never stood still for a second. I shit you not. Like, he got his and Mafia has a nice camera, and he did like a short video review on the Falcon cockpit. And my God, that camera, that thing was like, he was probably on his chair spinning around. And several other YouTube influencers out there too, when it comes to Jazz Inc. products. Man, oh man, all of a sudden they don't know how to work a camera, and you start to ask yourself, there's something.
Is there something going on in the background?
Going on here,
Is there like is there a guideline? You got to shoot it in 720?
I guess so.
Before you can receive this.
Even my boy brother's cousin, he got the 66 Batmobile, and he did a live stream unboxing, I think at 720, and you're like, what is this? Amateur?
Yeah, what's it? It's black and see a little red,
right? And yeah, so it's just it makes you wonder what's being hidden underneath. So the last time I've had people offer to ship me one, because I would love to do a Denobi 2 4K blast video. John Deek offered to do one for me, and John Deek offered to send me his, and he hasn't. So John, if you're listening, I know you're in
John,
LA.
send him the 66 Batmobile.
Yeah. See, oh, look at that. When you poke the bear,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you kids out there are hiding something. They're
Yeah. Oh, look, you notice they all popping out too now, and they all getting it's like you kicked the hornet's nest. They're all out here like, oh, we'll do it. We'll do 8K. Yeah, do one in 8K. But even get a macro lens.
I don't think the resin formula that's being used to manufacture those can withstand that type of high fidelity scrutiny. It might even slight regret.
In all seriousness, like, I give props to the guy at Jazz Inc. for what he's done. I mean, he's from doing the dioramas. It takes guts, and the guy's incredibly intelligent. So he's definitely done really, really well, and the stuff he makes is whether it's worth that price or not, it depends who you're talking to. But no hate to the guy. I'm just saying, like, help the collectors out if you can.
Man, you do have a heart of gold towards jazzing, so I can't turn you from that. But again, where my situation lies with them.
Yeah, well, I've never dealt with him. He's never screwed me over. And in this game, that's kind of all you can kind of count on.
Yeah, you've been very, very fortunate. Brother's cousin, thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much for the super chat. Denobi extends his gratitude for your support. Trust knowing your contribution helps. Bye-bye.
Little Feistin chicks in the background on that one. I did that specifically. I'm gonna have to start to push the envelope with some of these figures in the background and stuff. I don't know. Did you see the Tifa Lockhart figure, like half scale or 1/3 scale.
No, I thought you were about to talk about that Ryu from with the Fison Ryu body.
No, I have that one. That's actually a pretty cool one. But there's a company called SGD Studio, and they're taking pre-orders for like a half scale Tifa Lockhart, silicone body, pretty accurate, like punched hair, clothing, anatomically correct, I believe. Yeah, have you seen this thing?
No, I'm
This
looking
thing
at
is
it right now. I'm looking
dynamite.
for it right now.
Like when I see and then they have like the uncensored videos on their channel, and it's like after watching it, I kind of want to run to church, but even though it's
Yeah, man, I'm a Christian. You can't
I mean,
can't be
you know,
bringing me. You're talking devil business right now, right? Right? You over here trying to push the devil on me, Denobi? Jesus.
I mean, look, I pushed the envelope with Fison and TV leagues, but I wouldn't even know where to. How would I even explain that? Like, would I put that if I was able to get Tifa Lockhart, would I put her next to like the Rancor? I don't even know where I'd even.
You get crazy with that.
You're watching.
Put it next to Buzz Aldrin.
For scientific, let me see if I can find the video, but I'm not going to show you the. No, I'll end it with. Let me see if I can find right here. I'll point it out. It's not that. I'm sure they'll. Maybe if I kiss their ass, maybe they'll hook me up. You know.
Yeah. What you got to do is you got to email them. Make a couple videos. That's how you do it.
Look,
Denobi, if I was you, hear me out in this crazy talk. If I was you, I would reach out to Toys Wonderland, and I think there's an opportunity there for you.
Toys Wonderland.
Yeah, you might be able to go in, undercut this early market stuff, and might be able to turn it around. I doubt it.
I would probably run the business to the ground.
They're on they got. I said 2 months. You ain't gonna see them around. There's a reason why because Justin's all about that PR. That dude, man, unreal. And the fact that he wanted to mention me the other day still gets on my nerves.
Does he blame you for his interactions with Toys Wonderland at all?
No, what would he blame me? The only thing he could blame me on is not not being a little yes man in his echo chamber. It's the only thing he can blame. Telling him the truth is the only thing he can blame on me. When he's doing something stupid, I'm like, hey, you're doing this. This is stupid. He didn't want to hear that, you know. None of them do.
It's interesting. I did not have this video. I did search for but I know that Zach always is interested in the fine arts of toy collecting. So for scientific purposes, I decided to share my discovery with him on this exceptional Tifa Lockhart.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at that in private later.
Yeah. Last question of the night. Do you have any of these InArt figures in your collection? Are you pre-ordering any of them?
I might pop on the Gandalf or the Aragon, because Asmus did me so dirty on that Crown series, boy. Did you see that? Oh.
That was pretty rough. Yeah.
And then they kind of, and like, I like him. The guy Andy's a good guy. They hit us with this Crown series, hyped it all up. We get it. The eyes are 6 inches behind the fucking eye socket.
That was the thing that killed the illusion for me, because I was I have the Crown series.
The Crown series, yeah. It's and it
killed
it's good.
It for me. Yeah.
It's the eyes. You can't do nothing with that. And then they come out, I don't know, a year later, less than a year later, and they drop this bomb-ass white Gandalf with the horse that looks amazing. Like, where were y'all with the Crown? What the hell was the Crown series all about? You know? I think what happened is they had a hard time doing the eyes, because they moved. And it's like, y'all could have done we didn't need that shit.
Yeah. Well, everybody looks up to their mentors. They were clearly trying to replicate some of that Hot Toys magic with the PERS system.
And someone's got to be the guinea pig. I get that, but like, man, y'all couldn't have let me know that before.
Yeah, and that wasn't cheap either. That was a
$400 toy.
Yeah, $400 figure, and so to get back in bed with the same character in a competitive, saturated, crowded market, you really have to kind of pause and think about it, because the Gandalf does look great. I have no interest in returning back to the Shire. I'd rather focus on my DC selection right now, or
you got to narrow it down at some point.
Yeah, I have to be able to kind of put my foot down and step it up though. But look, from what I've seen, even from their Joker, right? Even from their InArt Joker, it looked great. My biggest complaints was that InArt will always have a distribution challenge. And because of that distribution challenge, it then creates another concerning anomaly within the product, and it's that InArts doesn't have a home, right? And I'll explain. As a U.S. collector, right, we know that I'll use this as an example. This is a Hot Toys Iron Man quarter scale, but if I need the information of its true USA retail price, I know how to verify that. I can go to the authorized distributor here in the US. But when it comes to InArt, right, it has different mirrored versions of itself through multiple resale distributors. And what happens with that is that it creates it creates doubt as to where to really purchase them, where you're going to get the best deal, who's going to give you the best shipping dates. Why is this YouTuber reviewing this specific figure, but yet when I contact the retailer, and it's like, oh well, that was just a sample pre-production and piece, but yet it wasn't disclosed on the video.
And I remember that.
That's all part of the distribution challenge, where it's really hard to navigate on where to get. It's like for example,
it's a bunch of bullshit.
Exactly. If I ask the audience right now, what is the retail price for Gandalf? And I'll bet you, I shit you not, I'll get different price points. Just probably pop up.
Yeah, I think to my knowledge, I believe it's 400
for 400 for 500. We don't.
Yeah.
You really don't. All you know is that you have influencers that are plugging their sponsorship with their favorite retailer. If it's not through, I don't know, KG Hobbyline, Rock Toys, or 16 Kid, everybody is going to recommend theirs. But it's hard to verify the true price. Like how much is Gandalf? I don't know. He says, oh, but it's 500 Denobi. Is it really? But Toys Wonderland is selling it for $350, but yet they're going to screw me over with $200 shipping. So then what happens is you end up,
Mr. President, I don't know what to believe.
You don't know what to believe anymore. You just what's going on, and so that leads back to the distribution challenge within that specific product right there,
which is a big deal,
a huge deal.
Yeah,
very big deal.
But as long as they're getting the figures out, even if they're late, and even if it's in batches of 5 or 6, and even if they're having influencers say, yeah, these they're gonna come out tomorrow, they're shipping tomorrow, I promise, and then when they get caught out on it, they backtrack. Regardless of even all that, if they're getting the figure out and it's good, that goes a long way. As long as you're not pulling a molecule 8.
Molecule 8. Yeah.
And Big Chief Studios, I don't know. That was probably just terrible management. I mean, that right there, I think that's.
Yeah.
I think the Toys Wonderland store is going to turn out to be way bigger, but I think this Big Chief Studio thing is pretty. A lot of people I've talked to, they're out the money. They're
gone. Yeah.
Where did that money go to? Where did the money go?
Yeah. Same thing.
Where did the money go?
Same thing happened to Master Replicas. Even the company Eagle Moss, the one that did the subscription for over like 45 years or 40 years. And so you see companies like this just essentially calling it quits. And so that's why I've always said, that's why I've always shared my opinions within the community. Just be careful out there, because a lot of these resellers are asking for expensive down payments, expensive pre-order payments for like the InArts and so forth. And there's no guarantee, or worse, you were making payments and you paid off the figure. There's no sense. There's no guarantee. There's no, they're all on the other side of the world. Most of these buyers are on this side of the world. If they close up their website, what are you going to do? Go on Facebook and bitch?
Yeah, God, anyone watching, do not, under no circumstances, give advance money to any of those overseas people.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I don't care. Payment plan. Don't. That's just a
same thing.
No.
Same thing to your favorite company, Jazz Inc. There's no assurances that he's located in the Netherlands. He's probably like hidden in a tulip field out there.
The only thing though, and especially, given like bankruptcy jurisdiction, there's multiple laws, different countries. Essentially, all those guys have on the line is their reputation. And if you're out the game, you're out the game. I mean, look at that guy. What was it, Master GT, that did the Cyborg? He took all that money, and everyone was like, "Well,"
he did.
And hey, he just got out the game. You don't hear from him anymore.
Yeah. You sure don't, boy. He really.
I think he got. I think Warner Brothers. Went after him hard, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did. They paid him a visit. But again, going back to Jazz Inc., I don't know if he's launched his pre-order, but I was told that he wants to build the Anakin Skywalker 1/6 scale ship. And you're like, well, is he authorized from Disney? I mean, that's an expensive piece.
Yeah.
So you want folks to start making payments on this, and so they can start the R&D. What are the risks involved in that? So it's just things like that.
And look, to be fair, that's always been around, and that's part of the hobby. It's part of the not the economy, but it's part of the ecosystem of the hobby. All of the people doing that. Hell, even talking about all the drama is part of the ecosystem. That's what keeps the hobby going. How many times can you talk about a figure releasing before it's like, okay, really? Yeah, it's great. All of this, all the interactions, whether it's good or bad, you got to appreciate it for what it is, and that's what drives the hobby. I mean, look, back in the day, whenever I was in this shit, we were running like crazy games. It's always doing, laughing and shit, having fun, and that's what it's about. And because it can't just really be about toys, because if it was, people would eventually get bored. I saw someone say you were the Jerry Springer show of the 6 scale community, and I think that's a really funny term. But cool. Yeah, I mean, it's you gotta, that's just that's what stirs things up. It's what creates interest.
It's just pettiness. And then especially just seeing I don't know, and it's such a high turnover rate too. When you see collectors joining in into forums and YouTube, and then they fizzle out. You're like, it's better. You have to be able to adapt and to evolve, and just, I guess, be independent for the best, right? You gotta provide something, some reason. People who listen to me, it's probably because I'm doing something right.
You have flavor to your whole thing, and that's one thing I used to tell my friend. He had no flavor. All he had was, you can get the toy fast and get it early. You have no flavor, and whereas you have flavor, you have personality. Whether it's people probably just sit and want to listen to you talk about just anything,
I try.
You know, and that accounts. There's a value there, and I think it goes unappreciated a lot, especially in this kind of racket.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, are you, by any chance, are you going to New York Comic Con?
I don't know. Are you?
Yeah, I am. I got permission.
Oh, damn, nice.
Yeah, I got permission. I bought my ticket yesterday too. I'm so excited.
I don't know. I love New York. I love going to New York.
New York is fun. I come visit you, but you know,
I'm gonna message my old pal Cletus Selden,
I
the
would
boxer.
love to visit you, but every time I have free time to visit you, there's always like a hurricane headed in your direction.
Yeah, we get those a lot.
There's always something. Yeah, so I was like, I don't know.
Maybe I'll consider going in there. I'm gonna talk to my buddy Cletus and see if he's gonna be going too, because I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't seen a lot of them in a while.
Yeah, come. I'll be there. I'll be in New York for about 4 days for New York Comic Con, and then I fly out Saturday. But yeah, it's it's fun. I enjoy New York. New York is a lot of fun, and I still need to book a hotel, but I got my flight and I got my badge.
Yeah, it's not like San Diego where you gotta, they got so many hotels out
They
there.
have so many options there. Yeah, so I need to figure that out. But that's where I'll be. So come. I know you're busy. I know you work a lot. You work as much as I do, but
it's about in a month, right?
Yes, October the 10th or 11th, like that. Yeah, so it's about a month, month from now. So
yeah, maybe I will. I'll talk to my people. And like I said, there's a couple of people in New York I want to see.
Yeah, come to New York. I love their bagels out there and their pizza.
We mostly like hearing Denobi bitch. He does it with such
exactly.
Is
that a compliment, maybe, or is that
that's a compliment.
All right, I'll take it then.
That's a compliment. And Denobi always catches me like I always end up running late, so then I can't get in it and shit. And then by the time we get warmed up, we're 2 hours in. So we can't really even, even go through everything.
Yeah, his schedule and my schedule are probably the way. So that's why I was trying to schedule it that was convenient for him, and it works for me, and so forth. Because it's always.
Yeah, because we barely even touched any topics.
Did we miss anything that you want to?
Not really. I mean, we kind of just generally went over everything, I guess. As far as ASMR Denobi, I did notice that. That's funny.
I want you to come back. I know.
I need to. We'll schedule another one.
I want you to come back. I want you to come back to the world of hot toys. I know you're doing the ID, and you've always bounced around your taste is unique, and it's just. You're kind of like a barracuda when you have something silver in front of a barracuda. You're like you head in that direction, and you follow it. And so
I appreciate that. Let's see, Alex.
Nothing wrong with it.
Welcome. The old 1-6 Society admin days. Those were the good days. I wish I had stayed. In that direction. And listen to some people that I didn't listen to. But yeah, you live and learn, I guess. Going back, I probably still wouldn't, say listen to some people, but that's personal. Whether personal relationships or toy relationships. Just I got stuck in between some really bad people. Got caught in between some really bad people trying, looking out for their own self-interest. And when they don't need you anymore, Denobi, you know what they do? They kick you out just to the side, and then they blame everything on you. That's how they scapegoat. That's how it works.
You could always come back like a phoenix. I've been canceled multiple times. That's never stopped me. I'm like Emperor Palpatine. You always end up rubbing somebody the wrong way, and it just gives you the experience to just kind of reinvent yourself and try something different. So,
it's at the time, this was just a couple of years ago.
What is the timing of that I mentioned cancel, and then he says you're gonna, and so I'm telling you, it's like Emperor Palpatine. I've died many times. I'm like, man, I've been canceled multiple times. I always tend to come back. And so I need you to come back. You got to have an opposition. You got to have the yin and
the balance. You got to have the balance
of the force. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
it's just honestly, I got too much personal disdain for certain people, and it's completely disintegrated any type of joy I get out of any of it. That's speaking from the heart. It's unfortunate. I bad shit happens, but someone destroys your love for a hobby that I really enjoyed it. And that was always the problem. I got stuck in between people that were trying to be someone in the toy world, but I was just trying to have fun. And I got caught in between people fighting for some bullshit fucking throne that I didn't want anything to do with. I was just trying to have fun. And there's some other aspects of it that I'm not going to get into. I'm still getting fucking damn
When's the
girls,
last time
bro.
you've been to? Was 2019 the last time you went to San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah, well, that's the last time anyone went to San Diego Comic-Con because they closed it down. Well, aside from like yesterday.
Well, they
last year.
Well, yeah. Well, the San Diego Comic-Con happened this year. There's actually been an event.
I think it's the past 2 years, but I think the first time it was low key. The second time,
well, 2020 is when they had San Diego Comic-Con, the special edition night in November. But they've always had an event in San Diego. So, and then after that was 2021 and 2022, and then there was one this year. And they're sold out shows, even though the biggest distributor wasn't there this year. So. Times.
Yeah. Hey, Alex. I recognize that name too. He used to be a hater. Hey, have him contact me. I'll talk to him. I'll be real with him. I'll talk to him. Have him reach out to me.
I will. Mafia, thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you kindly for the generous super chat. Denobi2 extends his praise for your support.
Hey, New York. I think I might end up. You planted that seed, Denobi. Denobi, what the hell? You're trying to get me back, Denobi. And
I know you can swing it, but
it's half-ass working.
I also know your schedule is bonkers, so that's why I'm putting the karma out there, right?
Yeah, but you can always make if it's important, you can always make time for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And make no mistake, I've even thought about visiting your state, and I'm not kidding. Every time I have the time, I'm like, God damn, there's a fucking
need to
get in there.
You need to fly into New Orleans, man, and spend the weekend. It'd be fun.
I don't know if I'd be able to. Well, actually, you know what? I am trained in the fine arts of partying. I mean, I've been in Vegas for quite a while. So
I just can't go to Vegas.
No, I don't think you'd be allowed to come to Vegas. I think I think I have I would probably get an ulcer because I would probably be forced to chaperone you because I wouldn't want you to do something stupid.
I had a run from like 21 to 25, and it's just no. You can come here. We can. We can go ahead and shut it down, or we take one more question. I gotta go on. My girlfriend's gonna kill me.
No, we're gonna end it with my meme.